Using cruise control inside of the Volvo EX30 is a very straightforward process. In order to use it, you're using the buttons along the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So you can toggle it on by pushing the button along the top left-hand side, and that's going to set it at whatever your current speed is. From there, you can push if you'd like to increase or decrease 5 kilometers or 5 miles per hour at a time. Or if you push and hold up or push and hold down, that's going to increase or decrease 1 mile per hour or 1 kilometer per hour at a time instead. From there, there's also this button, which is going to toggle pilot assist on or off. And what that one does is that as long as the vehicle recognizes the lane markings, it's going to keep you perfectly balanced in your lane. It's amazing. It's not full hands-free driving, but if you lose focus for a second, it's going to take over the steering wheel essentially for you, so it can take you around bends. Very, very useful. And then the button along the bottom here is going to let you change up between a few different views along the top part of the screen there. And then inside of the infotainment system, there are a few different options that are available too. So if we go into our settings along the bottom, and then settings screen, driving gives you options. So you can either go speed limiter or pilot assist. I prefer that pilot assist for the steering assist, where it's going to keep you nice and balanced in your lane. Speed limiter is a pretty interesting system. So with the speed limiter turned on, it takes the road speed into account. So when you've got the adaptive cruise control system turned on, let's say if you've got it set at 60, 70, 80, 100 miles or 100 kilometers an hour, if the road speed is, let's say 40, it's not going to go past that point. So even if you have it set at 60 and the road speed is 50, it won't go past 50. You can hit the accelerator pedal if you actually wanted to speed up to try to get closer to that limit. But after you take your foot off the accelerator, it's going to bring you back down to the actual speed limit instead. Versus the pilot assist, that one is just your adaptive cruise control system. And then there's also the lane change assist. So on certain highways or roads, what's going to happen is as long as the vehicle recognizes that there's a space next to you, left or right, when you hit your turn stalk to go left or right, it's going to check to make sure that there's nobody there. And then with your hands on the wheel, it can help you turn into another lane automatically. If you want to, you can adjust out yourself. So if it's starting to change, you can kind of take over and go a bit quicker. But that is a really neat process. You can have it adapt to the speed as well. So let's say if it goes from 50 down to 60, it can decrease your speed. If it goes from 50 to 60, it can increase your speed. And then there's also your leading vehicle. So how close or far are you away from that vehicle that's in front of you? So there are 3 unique levels that are available. I recommend level 1 on just residential streets or stop and go traffic. You might want to be on level 2 or level 3, so medium or long, just depending on your own personal comfort level. So if it's slippery, snowy conditions out, I definitely recommend going long instead, but you could go either of these options. So there are 3 unique options available. And then you've got the option of adjusting one pedal drive and a bunch of other things. But if you want a full walkthrough on the infotainment system, you'll find that down in the description of this video. So let's go ahead and I'll show you a live demonstration of how this system actually works. I gotta say, getting used to it not having a head-up display or even like a traditional cluster screen, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you do, it's actually kind of nice. It's a very minimalistic look inside of this ride. All right, here we go. So I could hit up, and that's going to turn the speed limit of the adaptive cruise control system on. From there, speeding up, you could push up in order to increase your speed 5 kilometers at a time, push down to decrease. You could then push and hold up or down to increase or decrease 1 kilometer, 1 mile per hour at a time. But pushing up or down there, if you're on an odd number, essentially if you're not on a 5 or a 0, brings you up or down to that nearest 5 or 0. But we're cruising right now. It recognizes the lane markings on top of that. So you can see there as we go to drive, we're nice and green. So here's the thing, like I said, not full self-driving, but as long as the vehicle recognizes the lane markings, it's gonna keep you perfectly balanced in your lane. Hands off the wheel for about 10 seconds or so before you end up getting a message. Yeah, there we go, keep hands on steering wheel. So like I said, not full self-driving, but it still is kind of neat. You can take your hands off the wheel for a second. A few limitations to the cruise control system is that if there is no vehicle in front of you and you're coming up to a red light, you have to brake yourself. So there's no auto brake at a red light feature whatsoever. And then you should see here that the speed starts to slow down. You can hover over the brake. If you feel like it's not slowing you down fast enough, you could hit the brake yourself. And you can slow down if you'd like to. and then you can push up in order to resume your previously set speed again if you'd like. So as you start to drive, just push up in order to resume that speed. See there's a car in front of me, but it's going to start driving away again. And if you find that it's not speeding up fast enough, you can hit the accelerator pedal in order to speed up instead. But as I mentioned, you've got that gap adjustment that's available as well. So how close or far are you away from the vehicle in front of you in your driving settings here? So there are 3 unique levels that are available. But if you want full walkthroughs on the steering wheel buttons or the infotainment system, you'll find those down in the description of this video. But that's how you use the adaptive cruise control system inside of the Volvo EX30.